everyone. Today I am here with Dr. Copeland, and we are going to be discussing how our donor-donor embryos are created.
In the Atlantic Shared Beginnings program, all embryos created have a first intended parent. Stephanie, can you tell us more about that?
Yes, with the donor-donor embryo program, all donor-donor embryo profiles must have a first intended parent. We will not create an embryo profile until the first intended parent has met with our team and completed all pre-cycle compliances. Once cleared, the intended parent will select an egg donor from our database and a sperm donor from one of our partnering sperm banks. Our team will check the carrier screening of both donors to ensure that the match is compatible. The egg donor will then go through an egg donation cycle, and the eggs will be fertilized with the donor sperm on the day of retrieval. Once embryos have developed, we will reach out to the first intended parent for selection of embryos. Many profiles will have more embryos than needed for the first intended parent. Once they have made their selection, the remaining embryos will be made available in our database for other recipients to select. This is known as our Available Share program. It is the goal that all embryos will be matched with an intended parent.
In what scenario would a profile have more than one first intended parent?
A profile would have two intended parents in the case of sex selection. If a recipient comes to us wanting to create a new donor-donor embryo profile for a specific gender, Atlantic Shared Beginnings would need another recipient to also match with that profile who would be okay with selecting the opposite gender. We would not create embryos until we have two matches in the case of sex selecting. Dr. Copeland, could you talk about some of the benefits of the donor-donor embryo program?
Great question. One benefit of the donor-donor embryo program is that it increases access by sharing the expense of embryo creation among more than one intended parent. The first intended parent is aware that they will receive up to a prearranged number of donor egg, donor sperm embryos, and the other embryos from the profile will be available to other intended parents. Sharing distributes the expense associated with embryo creation among more than one recipient. Costs come down, which increases access for more recipients. A planned share also alleviates some of the emotional burden past recipients reported when they achieved more embryos than needed to complete their family vision and were not comfortable with donation options that conveyed their personal information on the embryo storage device. In a planned share, the embryo storage devices are labeled with a profile number indicating the egg and sperm donor. This labeling system allows every intended parent sharing a profile to remain undisclosed.
We hope that you have found this information helpful on how our donor-donor embryos are created. This program is very unique in that a recipient can select a high-quality donor egg, donor sperm embryo from our Available Share program, or have the option of creating a new profile choosing their donors. We encourage you to email us with any questions, and we look forward to helping you build your family.